About the $3 million. I made a decision to divide it between my mom and me. This decision came shortly after my father's funeral. Jack, after perusing the inheritance documents without seeking permission, remarked to me, "Kelly, don't be too greedy. Oh, finally I can quit my job. I have to thank that doddering old man." Doddering old man? Are you talking about my dad? I inadvertently blurted out. Disregarding my confusion, Jack and my mother-in-law enthusiastically discussed plans to buy a new car and go shopping. Faced with this unexpected turn of events, I could no longer contain my emotions. I was on the brink of exploding. Burdened with household chores, constantly asked for money, and now insulted about my father. I didn't want to live with Jack and my mother-in-law anymore. Suppressing my anger, I forced a smile and replied, "Sure. Feel free to use the money as you and my mother-in-law please. My name is Kelly Cohan, a 38-year-old housewife working alongside my husband. My parents were doctors who ran a well-reputed clinic in our hometown. As an only child, I was showered with love. After graduating from the School of Pharmacy, I secured a job at a major pharmaceutical company. Although my parents were disappointed I didn't become a doctor, they respected my decision. 10 years ago, my mother unexpectedly died in an accident, leaving my father and me devastated. During those difficult times, Jack, then my boyfriend, supported me. We met through a mutual friend, and 2 years after my mother's passing, Jack proposed. Jack was an ordinary salaryman in the food and beverage industry. Despite earning significantly more than him, I believed we could overcome any difficulty and be a happy couple. My father was overjoyed when I told him about our engagement. "I've heard how Jack supported you, Kelly. Thank you so much. Please continue to take care of her," he said. Facing my father, Jack stood straight and promised, "I will make her happy." Standing next to Jack, I was enveloped in feelings of happiness. The following week, we went to Jack's family home to announce our marriage. His mother, with flashy makeup and divorced from Jack's father, evaluated me rudely. "Marriage, huh? You're Jack's choice, are you? Isn't she a bit plain for your taste? And she's older, right? Wouldn't a younger and prettier girl be better for you?" Jack quickly retorted, "Mom, you know M Pharmaceuticals, right? Kelly works there. Her father is a doctor and runs his own practice." I expected Jack to praise my character, but instead, he emphasized the financial advantages. Hearing this, his mother's expression changed to one of satisfaction. "Oh, Jack, you should have told me such important things earlier." "That changes everything. I happily approve of the marriage. Nice to meet you, Kelly." "Thank you," I replied. After gaining approval for our marriage from Jack's mother, Jack was overjoyed. However, I couldn't shake off a sense of unease, despite things going smoothly and our decision to get married. When we were about to register our marriage, my father, a doctor and real estate investor, gifted me an apartment in a luxury building in New York City. I told Jack, "Dad has given me this apartment as a wedding gift, but it's our new home. Let's live here happily and peacefully together." Jack smiled happily, and thus our married life began. However, after getting married, I realized something unsettling. Jack, who had lived with his parents until then, was almost incapable of doing household chores. He couldn't cook, didn't know how to use the washing machine, and showed no interest in learning. He would leave his garbage scattered around, not bothering to throw it away. While I wanted to diligently share household responsibilities, Jack's careless attitude increased my dissatisfaction. In the first year of marriage, I took on all the household responsibilities. Despite some complaints, I tolerated it, given that we were still in the honeymoon phase. But with the exhaustion from work and struggling to keep up with chores, I reached my limit. In our second year, I decided to have a serious talk with Jack about sharing household duties. I bravely expressed my dissatisfaction. To my dismay, Jack responded without gratitude or reflection, saying, "I'm tired from work too. You're much better at chores than I am, right? It's better if you do them since I'm not good at it." Dismissed just like that. Jack hardly helped with the chores, and I continued to bear the brunt of our household responsibilities. But that wasn't the only problem. After marrying Jack, I discovered his mother also had some peculiar ideas. Jack wasn't very interested in seasonal events, so I decided to send a quality scarf and carnations to his mother for Mother's Day. Despite choosing a nice scarf from a department store, his mother called me sounding displeased. She criticized the scarf, saying it wasn't from a famous brand and that it was absurd to send such a no-name item. I tried to explain the quality of the scarf, but she wouldn't listen, insisting she only wanted items from a very famous luxury brand. Stunned, I reported this to Jack when he returned home. But instead of empathizing, he said, "What? It's just a gift. Just do as she said." Jack didn't take my side. From then on, we started giving her cash as she demanded. By our 5th year of marriage, she began visiting our home frequently, always finding reasons to ask for money. Jack, without any complaints, would smile and hand it over. Even though I had a job, Jack's income was limited and small, making our daily life barely manageable. Desperation led me to dip into our savings and cut living expenses. Despite my frustrations, I reminded myself that Jack cherished his mother. She was, after all, the mother of someone important to me. That thought helped me endure. Now, in our 8th year of marriage, I continued to handle all the household chores and keep giving money to my mother-in-law. One day during this exhausting routine, my father, whom I hadn't seen in a while, unexpectedly called me. The story he shared during our rare meeting was shockingly unexpected. He revealed that he was suffering from terminal cancer, and treatment was no longer possible. Overwhelmed with shock, tears spilled from my eyes. My father gently stroked my head, just like he used to when I was a child, and said softly, "Kelly, this is fate. Let's accept it quietly." I asked, "Dad, why? Why even you?" From then on, my days became a juggling act: work, household duties, and now visits to my father's hospital. While my work allowed some flexibility, managing everything at home was not easy. When I told Jack that I'd be caring for my father, he showed no reaction or willingness to help. "Well, it's tough with your father's sudden condition," he said flatly. "But please do your best." That was all. He visited my father in the hospital only once. I was so preoccupied with my father's care that I had no time to spare for Jack. If I had time to worry about Jack, I wanted to prioritize my father instead. One day, as my father lay in his hospital bed, he suddenly asked me, "Kelly, how is your marriage with Jack going?" Caught off guard, I found myself reflecting on Jack's attitude at home and his mother's behavior. I couldn't answer properly. Seeing my hesitation, my father seemed to understand. He gently said, "Kelly, you don't have to endure. Think about your happiness. Don't worry, you won't have any hardships after I'm gone." I couldn't hold back my tears. I wept. My father silently, firmly held my hand. 3 months later, the inevitable moment arrived. My father passed away quietly. Engulfed in immense sorrow, I began arranging the funeral. Jack, however, showed no interest in my grief. He didn't help with any preparations. Still, I was too busy to pay attention to that. Many friends and acquaintances attended the funeral. It became a heartfelt farewell. Even the indifferent Jack and his mother attended. The day after the funeral, I received a call from a lawyer about my father's inheritance. I arranged a meeting and listened carefully to what he had to say. The information was surprising. After deducting taxes like inheritance tax, my father's estate amounted to over $3 million. He had not only earned income as a doctor, but had also made successful real estate investments. As his only daughter, I was to inherit everything. Wrapped in surprise and gratitude, but trembling at the thought of managing such a large sum, I proceeded with the inheritance process. When I returned home, I spread out the documents from the lawyer on my desk. Reading through them, exhaustion overtook me, and I ended up dozing off on the sofa. I awoke to the cheerful voices of Jack and his mother. "Huh? Jack? And your mother too? When did you get here?" I asked. Jack approached me with a beaming smile and said, "Yes, Kelly." "Well done." "Huh? Why? What are you talking about?" I asked, confused. That's when I noticed Jack holding the inheritance documents. "Wait, don't read those without asking," I shouted, shocked and angry. Jack had gone through them without permission. Unconcerned, my mother-in-law happily chimed in, "Wow, an inheritance of $3 million. Isn't that amazing? Now we can live comfortably for the rest of our lives." I stood there stunned. I couldn't understand why she was saying that. Then Jack turned serious and said, "By the way, about this $3 million, I've decided that it will be split between me and my mom." It was right after my father's funeral. Jack, having looked at the inheritance documents I was supposed to receive, without my permission, casually said to me, "Kelly, don't be too greedy. Oh, now I can finally quit my job. I have to thank that doddering old man." "Doddering old man? Are you talking about my dad?" I accidentally said it out loud, stunned. Jack ignored my reaction and continued. "Well, anyway, let's proceed with the inheritance process and get the money into our joint account as soon as possible." While I was still trying to process this sudden turn of events, Jack and my mother-in-law were already excitedly discussing plans to buy a new car and go shopping. At that moment, I could no longer hold back my emotions. I was on the verge of exploding, burdened with all the household chores, constantly being asked for money, and now hearing them insult my father. It was too much. While holding back my anger, I replied with a forced smile, "Sure. Use the money as you and my mother-in-law please. As you wish." Hearing this, my mother-in-law, seemingly satisfied, said cheerfully, "That's the spirit, Kelly. Quick to agree. Now make sure you work hard and earn money. I don't want our savings to decrease. So, work hard." I just nodded and pretended to listen to her selfish words. Afterward, Jack and my mother-in-law began living as if they'd lost their minds, lavishly consuming money. Jack quit his job almost immediately, and my mother-in-law practically moved in with us, staying constantly. Every day, they left in the morning and returned with luxury brand items they had splurged on. The 3-star restaurant we went to today wasn't that great. Yes, a bit underwhelming for us, the sophisticated ones. They had conversations as if they were wealthy celebrities, while dumping all the housework on me, as though I were their maid. Jack seemed to think my father's inheritance would come through immediately. He carelessly withdrew money from our joint account, and my own savings of $100,000 dwindled rapidly. When I protested their excessive spending, Jack just laughed. "Huh? What are you talking about? Isn't $3 million coming soon? Then this kind of spending is no big deal." I warned him that I had already stopped the inheritance process, but Jack completely ignored me. A month later, Jack and his mother suddenly left for a trip to Hawaii. I wasn't invited. I was left at home, alone. After seeing them off, I decided to take action. About a week later, while I was relaxing at home, I heard a loud knock on the door. Wondering what was happening, I glanced at the intercom monitor and saw Jack and his mother, both dressed in aloha shirts, standing at the front door. What do you want? I asked calmly and coldly. Filled with anger, Jack yelled, "What are you even talking about? Why won't the door open?" Seeing them confused as to why they couldn't get in, I confidently answered through the intercom. Well, I changed the locks. So, of course it won't open. What? Why? Jack shouted. Let's talk this over calmly at the nearby cafe. Please go ahead. I'll join you shortly, I suggested. Jack and his mother, still shouting in front of the entrance, eventually realized it was futile and left for the cafe. Once I confirmed they had left, I made my way there. When I arrived, Jack and his mother were already waiting, both visibly furious. Hey, what's this about? Did you change the locks? Hand over the new keys, right now, Jack demanded. There's no need for me to give you the keys, I replied calmly. You both need to leave that house. Then, I pulled out a divorce petition, already filled out, and placed it on the table. Divorce? You're serious about divorcing me? Jack asked in disbelief. His mother was equally shocked. Kelly, why has it come to this? I spoke quietly, but firmly. By the way, you've been spending lavishly every day. Are you sure your finances are okay? What money? Of course it's fine, Jack retorted, spitting his words. Your father's inheritance is coming, right? There should still be over $50,000 in our joint account. Look, I'll show you right now. He opened his banking app and stared at the screen. His expression abruptly changed. What's this? Why is the money gone? It was there just the other day. Hearing Jack's panic, his mother also pulled out her phone and looked at the account. Her face twisted in confusion. I calmly revealed the truth. Of course it's gone. I'm divorcing you. So I moved that $50,000 to my account as part of the property division. What do you mean? Jack barked. But then he smirked smugly. Fine, I'll divorce you then, but transfer the inheritance you got from your dad, right away. After all, property acquired during a marriage is split half and half, right? I smiled faintly. Well, you might be misunderstanding something. What? Didn't you know? The inheritance I received, even though it happened during our marriage, doesn't count toward property division. There was a long silence. Then, Jack and his mother's expressions completely changed. Perhaps they truly believed they would get a share of the inheritance. I could only sigh. No, that can't be true. That's impossible, his mother stammered, her face red with denial and anger. Check for yourself, I said mockingly. Jack frantically searched on his phone. His eyes widened as he read aloud. It says here, property inherited by one spouse from a parent is considered separate property. Therefore, it's not subject to division and can't be split between the spouses. What? Seriously? His mother cried out. Jack approached me, now desperate. Kelly, please don't divorce me. I have no savings, no job. How am I supposed to live if you leave me? Facing Jack's whining, I spoke clearly and firmly. What are you talking about? Take responsibility for your actions. I will never forget how you both treated me. I'm divorcing you. I'll go to court if I have to. Intimidated by the fierce demeanor they had never seen from me before, Jack and his mother shrunk back in fear, whimpering softly. Leaving the two of them dejected, I walked out of the cafe. Later, Jack and I finalized the divorce without any legal issues. The $50,000 I had moved from our joint account was recognized as part of the marital property division. Eventually, I got Jack and his mother out of my house. Jack, having already squandered his half of the money, found himself penniless. Overwhelmed with bills from their overseas trip and other expenses, he quickly sank into debt. Jack and his mother had to borrow even more just to keep up. Now, they live in a rundown apartment, working tirelessly every day to pay off what they owe. A harsh contrast to the lavish lifestyle they once flaunted. As for me, I sold the condo I used to share with Jack and moved into the apartment my father had left me. I continue to work as before, but with my inheritance, I live a comfortable, peaceful life. With gratitude to my late father in my heart, I've started a new chapter, and I intend to protect my happiness no matter what.